Now to immigration. Take a look at this number. People illegally crossing the Canadian border reportedly up 142% from last year. Interesting. Joining us now is Brandon Judd, active Border Patrol agent. You know what, Brandon? So much attention is placed, of course, on the southern border. Are you surprised by these numbers?
I'm not. Most of the attention should be placed on the southern border because obviously that's where most of the crossings take place. However, this new trend, it was foreseeable, it was predictable, and we know that crime takes the path of least resistance. And because the northern border is not as well patrolled as the southwest border, it was predictable that crime is going to now come across the northern border, which is what we're exactly seeing.
And how do you stop it? To your point, it's 5,500 miles long. I used to live up on the Canadian border when I lived in Montana, of all places, and it's such a vast, empty area. I mean, I hate to say it, but if I'm a terrorist, wouldn't I rather go that route?
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the laws in Canada, they're very relaxed. As long as you're not on the terrorist watch list, which most people aren't going to be on the terrorist watch list, you can fly into Canada, you can get a temporary visitor visa, and then you can work your way to the border, and you can cross the border illegally. I spent the first 15 years of my career on the southwest border. Yeah. I've spent the last 5 years, almost 6 years, on the northern border. I'm in Montana now.
Oh, are you?
And so, yeah, and so you can see, when I put on the uniform and I patrol the border, there will be times that I'm 20 miles away from my nearest backup agent, and so you can see how sparsely populated, how few agents we have on the northern border. In fact, most large cities, Phoenix, Arizona, even the Metro DC area, they have more police officers on duty at any given time than what we have Border Patrol agents on the northern border.
I also used to live in Yuma, so like you, I've seen both sides of the argument, have covered many stories on both, so it's kind of interesting. Next one for you, Brandon. Customs and Border Protection Chief Carla Provost says that the calls to abolish ICE are hurting morale. My question is, how could it not? What say you?
Of course it's going to hurt morale. The fact is, if you abolish ICE, you might as well get rid of the Border Patrol. You have to have that second layer, and that layer is ICE that patrols the interior of the border. They take care of those individuals that get past the Border Patrol. So up on the northern border, if people get past us on the northern border, then it's ICE's job to then try to find those individuals in the interior of the United States. You can't get rid of ICE and expect to have border security. This cry is specifically for political reasons, and it appeases the far left, and it just isn't smart. It's not a smart policy as far as border security goes.
We'll have to leave it there. Montana was beautiful. January was a little tough on that border, I'll give you that, but it was beautiful. Brandon, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.